My ongoing review of the 1978 Kiss solo albums continues. Hello, welcome to Music and Stuff. I'm Rob Lewis, and as promised this week, I am reviewing the 1978 Paul Stanley solo album. And let's see if we can make this. I've tried this before in a different video. Oh no, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Oh, there you go. It's very hard to do this, you know. What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop pissing about. Right. The Paul Stanley solo album. 9 tracks. We have Tonight You Belong to Me, Move On, Ain't Quite Right, Wouldn't You Like to Know Me, Take Me Away, Together as One, It's Alright, Hold Me, Touch Me, Think of Me When We're Apart, Love in Chains, and Goodbye. Now, who produced this one? Engineered by Jeff Glicksman and Paul Grupp. Cover painting by Geraldo Carregati, who did all the other albums, of course. Bob Kulick played lead guitar on this album. We had Richie Fontana on drums, Craig Cramp on drums as well, Carmine a piece on drums, Steve Boslow on bass guitar, Eric Nelson bass guitar, Doug Katsaros piano, backing vocals, Steve Lacey electric guitar, Pepe Castro background vocals, Maria Vidal, Diana Grasselli, Miriam Naomi Valle background vocals. All songs written by Paul Stanley, except Move On, Ain't Quite Right, Take Me Away, Together as One, written by Paul Stanley and Michael Japp. Recorded at Electric Lady, New York, The Record Plant, Los Angeles, The Village Recorder, Los Angeles. Produced by Paul Stanley and Jeff Glicksman. There you go. Not much else to say. So, the songs themselves. Oh, he just wants a quick word. Hello, Holiday Rob here from Croatia. Just want to let you know, if you're enjoying this video, thanks very much for watching. But don't forget to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and of course the alarm notification bell so you know my videos are coming out. And yeah, if you're interested, I've got social network stuff, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, not Twitter though. And I've also got a Patreon, so you can find me there. It's in the description. Links for everything's in the description. And yeah, I'm going to hand you back again, because otherwise Studio Rob gets frustrated. Thank you. Track 1, Tonight You Belong to Me, starts out with that acoustic introduction. The falsetto. I can't remember who coined that phrase, falsetto, but I like it. The falsetto voice, and it kicks in with a rocky riff. Tonight You Belong to Me, great way to open an album, and I think it's the first one. So I have reviewed Peter Criss's solo album, and also Gene Simmons' solo album. I've still got Aces to do. Now, I recorded Peter's and Gene's before Ace Frehley had passed, so I didn't know about that. Obviously now I'm aware, which is why I'm saving Aces for last. But if you want to see them, you can find them on my channel. Just subscribe, find me through the videos bit somewhere down there. You know how it works, it's YouTube. But this is the only one I think so far that has started off with a 10 out of 10. Yeah, Tonight You Belong to Me, 10 out of 10 track. Absolutely, it's a banger. And I think it's fair to say that of the 4 albums, this is the one that was most Kiss-like. I think if they had gone a different direction with the next album rather than the Dynasty thing, this is very much what the next album could have sounded like, the Paul Stanley album. So Tonight You Belong to Me, 10 out of 10. It's a banger. Then we get track 2, Move On. It's a good track, solid track. Kicking off again, rocky guitars. It's a very guitar-y album. But Move On, it's a good song. It's not my favourite. It's not a 10 out of 10. It's an 8 out of 10. But that's still good. That's still impressive. Yeah. Move On. Used to love that one. I mean, I got this album when I was 13 or 14. Got the CD of it. I can't remember where I got this LP from. I really can't. I remember I got the Peter Criss one from, but the Gene and Paul ones I can't remember. Sadly, I don't have an Ace Frehley LP. I've got it on CD, obviously. So I don't know where I got this from. Was it a boot sale or a record fair or something like that? On the Gene one, you could see where someone had tried to trace his face. I'm getting off the subject. Move On. Great track. Let me get track 3. Ain't Quite Right. A few years ago I did, well, during lockdown, I did a Kiss live stream, all Kiss songs, and I did one song from each of the solo albums, and Ain't Quite Right was the one that I chose for the Paul Stanley solo album. I did Easy Thing from Peter Criss's, I did New York Groove from Aces, and I think I did See You Tonight from Gene's. Ain't Quite Right always makes me think of like a night time. It's got a very really reverby sound. It's a very well produced track. It's an 8 out of 10. It's an 8er, but it's a good track. Ain't Quite Right. Girl, you gave me good love, but it ain't quite right. Superb guitar solo on Ain't Quite Right, played of course by Bob Kulick. I'm going to do a video at some point in the future talking about Bob Kulick and Anton Fig and some of these people that weren't in Kiss but really helped Kiss make their sound. So if you want to watch that, stay subscribed. That'll be at some point in the future. Then we get track 4, Wouldn't You Like to Know Me? Now I got this on CD, as I was saying years ago, and there was a misprint. It said, Wouldn't You Like Me to Know on the back of the album instead of Wouldn't You Like to Know Me. But it's a solid track. It's not one of the best. I'm going to give it a 7. Wouldn't You Like to Know Me? Wouldn't you like to know me? It's got a catchy little chorus. It's quite a poppy track. Possibly would have been a good one to use as a single if he didn't go with Hold Me, Touch Me. But I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Then we get track 5, which has the how's it marked on here? So we got. So Take Me Away Together as 1 is track. Okay, so you get 5 on one side, 4 on the other. Track 5, Take Me Away Together as 1. Fantastic song. Really like this one. Growing up, it was my favourite on the album, and I think it still is, if I'm honest. So it's going to get 10 out of 10. Together, I remember together as one. Really great strong vocals, great guitar, great drums. Everything about this song is spot on. Absolutely nailed it. One of Kiss's best songs. Track 6, It's Alright. It's alright. It is, it's alright. It's a good track. Not my favourite, not my least favourite. But it's solid, it's all there. It's alright if you love me. It's alright if you need me. Even if you want me to stay for the night. It's alright. It's alright. 8 out of 10. Then we get the single, Hold Me, Touch Me, in brackets, Think of Me When We're Apart. It's a bit sappy. It's a bit poppy, but I'm a big fan of the Carpenters, so I love that stuff. I did have this down for a 7. I'm gonna go up to an 8. I'm gonna raise it to an 8. 8 out of 10 for Hold Me, Touch Me. It's unashamedly cheesy, but it's great. In fact, I also on this channel I recently recorded a cover of Hold Me, Touch Me, so I'll try and put the link up there in that corner so you can watch it. Yeah, it's a great little song. Hold me, touch me. Superb. Then we get track 8, Love in Chains. Probably my least favourite on the album. I'm not in love with it. It's alright, it's filler. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Lowest scoring on the album. And then we get track 9, Goodbye. Looking at the comments on the YouTube video for this one, it's a popular song. A lot of people saying it's their favourite. It's not my favourite. It's a solid track. I'm going to give Goodbye a 7 out of 10, I think, which is fair. So, adding it up, it's a 72 out of 90. That's 80%. That's an 8 out of 10. I thought it would have scored higher. I think if I was ranking it as an album, I would probably have scored it a 9 out of 10, but I'm just purely going by the individual song scores and adding them up in maths. So that's how it gets the 8 out of 10, because it's 80%. So overall, what do I think of the album? It's very good. It's many people's favourite. So every one of the albums is somebody's favourite. Let's be fair. Even Peter Chris's is somebody's favourite. But Peter Chris isn't my least favourite. Gene's was. Spoilers. Unless you've watched the episode. But Paul's was my second favourite, but only so very slightly. So next week I shall be reviewing Ace's solo album. At the time when I bought them, I think I was more into Paul's. I think Paul's was my favourite growing up. But I have kind of swung round now more to Ace's. I didn't really like Gene's, but when I was reviewing it last week, turns out I actually quite liked it. Once I sat down and re-listened to it, I thought, this is alright actually. They're all kind of getting the same scores so far. Very, very close. They've all got 8 out of 10 so far, I think. It wouldn't be bad if another one that I didn't like as much got a higher score. That's just how it works. But yeah, this one is sadly missing the inner sleeve. The other ones have got the inner sleeve, but this one doesn't. I've got the Peter Chris one twice on LP. I like the colour scheme with the purple, although it's quite hard to read the text. But yeah, it's a solid album. As I said before, probably the most Kiss-like album out of the 4. They all had some Kiss qualities. Well, less Peter's. Peter's was the most furthest removed from the Kiss sound. But you know what I'm saying. So with that in mind, there's only 9 tracks as well. I think there's only 9 on Ace's album. So there's 39 tracks altogether. Peter's had 10, Gene's had 11, Paul's had 9, Ace's had 9. It's 39. It'd been nice if they could have got around 10, but it wasn't to be. I don't really know what I'm talking about now. But yeah, Paul Stanley's. I think Paul Stanley's is very listenable. No, that might sound like a strange thing. Gene's, you hear it, gets to the end, I'm done with that. Peter's, you hear it, gets to the end, I'm done with that. Paul's, you can have it on repeat. over and over again. And I used to. So when I bought Paul's album and Ace's together when I was very young, and I had a SNES, and I'd have the two albums on repeat, like, you know, not at the same time. It's weird. And I'd be playing games on the SNES, and sometimes I'd be watching the Star Wars as well on VHS. Weird memories of my childhood, eating sub pizzas. What a weird thing to share. But yeah, I think it's got the most repeat quality. I think none of them have really dated. Perhaps Peter's dated slightly, but not a lot. Only like the rock and roll type, the R&B type ones, jazzy ones. But yeah, it's good. It's got good listen again quality. So yeah, that was the Paul Stanley 1978 solo album. I think it was the third best-selling. I think at the time, Gene's sold the most, then Ace's, then Paul's, then Peter's. Obviously, Ace had the big hit with the single, New York Groove. I'd have loved to have been around then. I was born in '79, but I would have loved, if I could quantum leap and go back at the time that Kiss were enormous. I'd love to witness that, just to see what it was like. Never to be now. But yeah, that's it from me. Thanks very, very, very much for watching. So next week, all being well, I'll be reviewing the Ace Frehley solo album. I'll see you then. Thanks very much for watching, and catch you later, Bill and Ted. What it is I need is like a 20-second clip that I can put at the end of each video. You know how other YouTubers do it, whether I have at the end of a video like 4 things on the screen, it's, you know, like and subscribe, that kind of stuff. I just need something like that, but I don't know what to put.